Hi everybody, today I'm going to be doing another corset review. A few months ago, Corsets-UK had contacted me and wanted to know if I would be willing to review some of their newer designs. They said that they had done a major overhaul on the designs and cuts and even some of the materials used in their corsets today. And they are vastly different from the types of corsets that I had reviewed from them in the past. So they sent me this corset, which is the waist Taming Overbust with hip panels and curved hem. And I'm going to be reviewing one other overbust and an underbust from them in the coming weeks as well. So without further ado, here is the front, the side, the back, and the other side. For the length and fit of this corset, the center front here is 14 inches. Along the peak of the bust here down to the lap here at the princess seam is close to 16 inches. The side seam here is the shortest at 12.5 inches, and then in the center back here it is 14 inches. Because I seem to have a freakishly long torso, especially from the waist up, I find that this overbust is a little bit short on me. I would feel more comfortable if it had another inch or two in length here, but if you have a shorter torso or if you are a more petite person, you may be able to fit this corset. This corset is quite curvy. I was actually surprised. Today I'm wearing a size 26. The bust here is 35 inches, the underbust is 30 inches, and the hips here along the iliac crest is about 35 inches as well. So it has a 9-inch bust spring as well as a 9-inch hip spring. You guys know that I prefer to have most of my corsets lace closed in the back here. Now on the Corsets-UK website, they do recommend that you wear it with a 2-inch gap in the back. I would say that the fit is quite crucial for a corset style like this because it has the side hip panels here, the hip gores. Because if you get a corset that is too small for you, these hip gores are going to be angled too far forward. What that's going to do is that it might put some of the bones or the seams along your hip bone and it might be a little uncomfortable for you. So I would say that if you are between sizes, you might want to go up a size, especially if you were fuller busted as well, as opposed to going down a size and wearing it with a larger gap in the back. Additionally, when I was wearing this corset with a gap in the back, I noticed that it had more flaring in the bottom front here, less support over the lower tummy. Now that I'm wearing it closed in the back, I have noticed that this has pulled a little bit closer to my lower tummy. I don't have any protruding tummy, so it doesn't really matter if I have a ton of support there or not, but I know that many of you, especially if you're postpartum and you would like to flatten your lower tummy, this is a crucial detail for you. So now let's go to the tabletop portion and I can tell you more about the details of this corset. Here's a corset laid flat, and for the materials, it's two main layers, I feel. The outer layer is this black polyester-based satin, and on the inside is black cotton twill. This is what the label looks like on the inside of the corset. So although it was bought from Corsets-UK, it has the Corset-Story label inside. You can see that this is the size 26. The label is on the Modesty panel, and if you don't like Modesty panels, of course the label will be removed with it. Or if you find the label irritating, it can also be easily removed just by taking out that stitching on either side. And then over here you can see the fabric content. So the satin is 100% polyester, lining 100% cotton, spiral steel bones, laundering instructions, and the country of manufacture. This corset has a 7-panel pattern. 1, 2, 3 makes the front, 4, 5, 6 makes the back, and the 7th panel is right here over the hips. And for the construction, the fashion fabric and the lining were treated as one layer, and the panels were assembled using a top stitch, as you can see here. On the inside, they use boning channels to cover the raw seams, the seam allowances between each set of panels. They also used a similar channel here to cover the seam between that curved hip panel and the other panels here, but obviously this one is not boned. There's a partial waist tape exposed internally in the inside of this corset. It's 1 inch wide, made with a black cotton twill tape. And it starts at the seam between 1 and 2 and stops at the seam between 5 and 6 here. The waist tape is in line with where they put the bow in this corset, but I find that both the waist tape and the bow are a little bit too high on my waist. Now, I know that I have a long waist and also a low set waist. My waist is actually closer to here. The binding is made from matching strips of black satin here. It is machine stitched on the inside and the outside, and you can see there's a small lip here. So I believe that it was sewn with a single pass on the inside and the outside. On the inside here, you can see on the bottom, there are 6 garter tabs, 3 on each side. As well, on the top here, there are 2 little loops here in case you want to attach some bra straps or decorative shoulder straps. The Modesty panel in this corset is quite wide. It's 7.5 inches wide, and it gives you about 5.5 inches of usable space. It's unstiffened, finished in the same satin here and the cotton on the inside. But if you want to remove this Modesty panel, if you don't like Modesty panels, you're going to have to take scissors and cut it out, because the way that it is anchored, it's anchored in the same seam that is holding this boning channel closed. So if you take a seam ripper and remove that seam, it's going to run the risk of this boning actually popping out of the channel here. So if you don't want to do a repair job and have to sew that back up again, just take scissors and cut it out. Another thing that I noticed is a few brands, Corset-Story is one of them, and I believe What Katie Did is another brand, tend to put the Modesty panels on, when you're putting the corset on, you will feel it anchored to the right side of your body, whereas many American brands tend to have the Modesty panel anchored to the left side. So just keep that in mind. When you want to pull the Modesty panel flat, you're going to have to use your left hand in this situation, whereas with other brands where the Modesty panel is attached to this side, you would be able to use your right hand to pull it. So just keep that in mind. Also, there's an unstiffened Modesty placket in the same matching satin. It's about 1/2 inch wide, and it's extending from the knob side of the busk here. The busk in this corset is 13 inches long, and it has 6 loops and pins, with the last 2 very slightly closer together. It is a little bit under 1 inch wide on each side, and it's a little bit more stiff compared to a standard flexible busk that's 1/2 inch wide on each side, but it's not quite as stiff or sturdy compared to a heavy-duty 1 inch wide busk on each side. It's somewhere in between the two in terms of stiffness. There are 14 bones total in this corset, 7 on each side. On the seams, it's single boned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are 1/4 inch wide spiral steel bones. And then along the back here are 2 1/4 inch wide flat steel bones. And I know that some of you would be interested to know what the bones look like inside, so I just undid a little bit of the binding here, and this is what the bones look like. There are 24 grommets in the back of this corset, 12 on each side. They are finished in silver and equidistantly spaced, and I believe they're size 0 with a bit of a medium flange around them. Unfortunately, at the waistline here, you can see that the grommets are slipping out of the fabric a little bit, as well as this one here, you can see it's coming out. Perhaps if they used a grommet with a bit of a wider flange, or if they added more fabric, or if they somehow got the grommet to flatten a little bit more so it can bite down on the fabric better, they might hold in a little bit better. Here's the inside of the grommet, so you can see they all have washers, and most of them have rolled really nicely. Like, there's no splits in them, and they have a nice finish to them. It's just really unfortunate that some of these grommets are coming out at the waist. The laces are about 3/8 of an inch wide, nylon, black flat, shoelace style laces. They have a little bit of spring to them, but not so much that they are super annoying or stretchy. They're long enough, they glide through the grommets smoothly, and they hold the bow well. The Waist Taming Overbust with hip panels and curved hem by Corsets-UK is available only on their website for £95 sterling, which converts to about $120 in the US at this time. It's available from sizes 20 up to 38 inches in the waistline, and it is available only in the black satin you see here. And this concludes my review of the Waist Taming Overbust by Corsets-UK. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, please remember to click that like button down there and help support the channel. And if you have any comments or questions about this corset, or if you've tried this corset and you noticed some different observations that you would like to share, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.